Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast.
Welcome to Workshop Wednesdays. We are so excited to have you here. This is where we're actually going to work in GSD. We called it a workshop on purpose. So that way we actually get these operations manuals done. So our plan is over the next 4 weeks. So we'll run these clear up until May 6th. We'll run them at noon. Obviously, if things change with COVID, we'll change it around for you. But so far, plan every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Pacific time. We're going to work on these. We want you guys to bring your ops manuals to this meeting. You have all the coaches available for you. And for all of you participating, if you want to turn your cameras on, by all means, please do. So I wanted to quickly run through how we're going to go through this. So you guys have some logistics, and then we're going to actually start working on this. Yes, Tiff, we do want to see your beautiful faces, guys. So basically what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through. It will help if you have an operations manual, whether you use the Dental A-Team's ops manual or you use your own ops manual, totally fine. We're just going to show you what we're going to be going through. So I wanted to quickly show you guys on here. Let me do this on the Dental A-Team. If you do not have an operations manual, snag it. So you go to the Dental A-Team. You're going to go to virtual training. It's on this page. You're going to want to make sure you go down. We have our completed ops manual. It's a 650 page ops manual. Click on the buy now, and it's just going to be easier. Tiffany had a great point. She said, it's kind of like being in a book club, but you don't have the book to read along. So it just will help you. Granted, if you have your own, totally fine. We're going to help you all out. Make sure you enter the coupon code DAT helps. This will then give you the 50% off. And that way you guys can have it and move along with us because we will be working off of it. So that way you guys can see exactly what we're working on. So I want to make sure all of you guys have access to that. So also, we're going to break it down into the 4 weeks. And it's really fun. I'm actually in the middle of doing an 8-hour team training with another team. They're on their lunch break while I come to Workshop Wednesday with you. And as I was going through it just now, we came up with a better plan for you guys. So that way you get the most bang for your buck on these workshops. So for today, over the next 4 weeks, this is how we're going to play it out. Today, week 1, we're actually going to go through job descriptions and job flow. You guys need to build that out. So we're actually going to build it today. So if you didn't bring a way to write this down, you guys can even pop off your cute faces, type it up. We're going to show and tell. That way we know you guys are working through it. So that's week 1. Week 2, we're going to work on actually building a 30, 60, 90-day scorecard for onboarding because we realized that's what you guys are going to need. And that's going to help you know which protocols to actually build out first, or the how-tos, build those out first. So that way, when you hire people, you bring them on, you don't know where to start. We're giving you guys a game plan for that. Week 3 is going to be with Tiffany. Week 2, Ashley's going to help with the onboarding. Week 3 will be with Miss Tiffany. Tiff's going to help you guys out of how to actually build these how-to step-by-step recipes. And then week 4, we'll be going through how to build a vision, mission, your core values. So that's going to kind of be in a nutshell. Now you might be joining and say, well, I need help with this. Great, fantastic. When we have the breakout workshops where we actually will pause, everybody will work for about 10 minutes. In the chat over here in the chat box, be sure to write your questions. We will individually help you. You've got 5 coaches on here that can help you out. We're happy to help you guys. So we want you to bring it. That's why we want your faces here. We didn't do webinar style. We did this so we could see your faces. So that way you can actually share your screen. You can show us on the screen. We can really help you out. The goal is to get your ops manuals done. So if you have questions, please be sure to put it in the chat. Tiff's on chat right now, so she'll be making sure she responds. Thank you, Miss Tiffany. If you guys don't know the Dental A team, I'm Kiera Dent. Tiff, Tiff, I'll just have you introduce yourself as well. We'll go through all the coaches on here right now. Tiff, let us know a little bit about you.
I have been with the Dental A team for almost 3 years now. I love what I love my offices. Love Miss Kiera Dent, and this operations manual is near and dear to our hearts. We spent a lot of time putting it together, and I'm so excited to bring this workshop to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Tiff. We also have Ashley Dorn. Ash, give us a little intro to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Dorn. I've been with the Dental A team since last summer, like June, July. I absolutely love it. I have a history of working in the dental field since the early age of 17. Really strong back office skills, super detail oriented. And yeah, I absolutely love the world of dentistry and coaching and helping offices and teams. That's really why I got into dentistry, is to help people. So now as a coach, I'm able to do that on a much larger scale.
I love it. Ashley, you just gel with us so well. Thank you. All right. We also have Tarly. Tarly, give us a shout out to who you are.
Hey, you guys, coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona. I have been, known Kiera for many, many years, and Tiff. Been working with them directly for the last 6 months or so. I'm deep into coaching and consulting. My expertise is going to be around leadership, emotional intelligence, and I bring a lot of that to help teams really jive and work as very cohesively together. Thanks for being here. Look forward to contributing to you all.
Yes, love it. We can all thank Tarly. Tarly is the reason Tiff and I know each other. Tarly hired me when I had very minimal front office experience. So we can all thank Tarly that we're even here today. We also have Miss Claire. Claire's new to the Dental A team. Claire, let us know who you are.
Hi, everybody. I am working on the hygiene coordination side of the Dental A team. So all your hygiene needs, I'm here. We just launched our new all-star program. So it's awesome. It's up and running, and I'm brand new, and I'm loving the Dental A team. And thank you for all being here today.
Yes, love Claire. Claire is helping a lot of offices right now with hygiene. So docs, if you want to have help teeing up that treatment for when they come back, figuring out a plan for your hygienist, she's been super instrumental. So amazing. We love having you. Also, there is another coach. She's kind of our behind the scenes. She is a part of the Dental A team. I did not introduce her last time. And I want you guys to know about Laramie. Laramie is also on our team. So Laramie, let us know who you are.
Hey guys, I'm Laramie. I'm coming to you from Texas. I am doing some things on the back end, a little content here and there, and also going through some of our trainings. So stay tuned.
Awesome. So that's the Dental A team coaches. Please, we want you guys to get the maximum out of these Wednesday workshops. So we're going to dive right in. Like I said, this is a workshop. This is for you to work. So we're going to walk you through step by step of exactly how to build these things out. So and we're going to give about a 10-minute working interval. We want you to work. And at the same time, we've got all your faces. Don't be shy. If you've got questions, unmute yourself. You can ask, or you can also pop it in the chat. Tiff will be watching that to make sure we answer that. So if you guys are ready to rock and roll, I want to see thumbs up. Who's excited to get these ops manuals done? Give us a thumbs up. Be excited. I like to see Matt Slipka over there. And then we get down to all the people we can't see, which is totally fine. You guys, this is huge. Yes, I love the emoji thumbs up. Thank you. Thanks for that. Okay, yes. And thanks, Kristen. Way to put it in the chat. Yeah, girl. Appreciate that. Jonathan, loving it. Participation is going to be key. That is part of this. So let's dive right in to exactly what we're going to work on today. So here we go. We're going to enter the Book Club of Operations Manual. So through the Dental A Team Ops Manual, it is through Digify. So this is what it looks like when you first get there. It will say on here, here's your manual and your updates. Mad shout out to our behind the scenes worker, Kaylee and Rachel. They have been working frantically for you guys to make sure that there's also Word documents. So if you don't want to edit in Adobe, they've been working really hard to make sure it's there. Tiff, if there's anything in the chat, I can see you, so just pop up, interrupt me. So on your manual, thank you, we have ways to edit. There is a workshop that Mark Costas and I did along with Tiff on how to build an ops manual. So if you want some more info, let us know. This is how to complete it in 90 days. Our goal is 4 weeks, guys. So we want you guys to give us live updates of, did you get your manual done? How far did you get? We're going to have a check-in every week to make sure you are holding yourself accountable. I just did a presentation about accountability, and my favorite quote on there was, on one side of accountability is courage, and on the other side of accountability is freedom. So there will be freedom. Why are we even building this ops manual? Well, to make sure that you have a recipe book, a little guidebook for every position in your practice. So if you think about it, that like this whole manual, if you put it together, it's huge. Tiff and I like lug this thing around. It is massive, and that's really not efficient or effective. So we want to break this down into smaller pieces that will actually be effective. And we're going to walk you through the way we found is the most influential way to do it. So we're going to come down here to all the manual documents. we're going to work on 3 different departments today, making sure you have that built out really, really well for you. So the first one we're going to start with, I'm going to pop over to dental assistants. Like we said, you might already have this done. Check to see what's been done, and then ask us your specific questions. Our goal is to make sure you get the most out of these workshops. So we're going to start with dental assistants. Dental assistant is where we're going to start first. Every single position, let me pop you guys over to a whiteboard. So every position, we're going to text this. Every position should have a job description. So everyone should have a job description. Everyone should have a job flow / protocol. Every position should have accountability agreements. Everyone should have an end of day, stands for end of day checklist. And everyone should also have, you should understand the how-tos to complete your job protocol. Okay. So if that helps you guys, you're really looking for all those different things, every single position. And when we talk about positions, here are the positions we list off. We list off dental assistants. We list off hygienists. We also do treatment coordinators. We do schedulers, or you can call them patient care coordinators. We also have office managers. And another good one is our billers. Your practice might have more than those specifics. You might also want to have one for associate doctors. You might want to have one for HR. You might want to have one for marketing. There's lots and lots and lots of different positions. We're going to focus on these 6 positions here. So dental assistants, hygienists, treatment coordinators, schedulers, office managers, and billers. Every single one of these positions should have a job description, a job flow or protocol, an accountability agreement, an end-of-day checklist, how to complete your job. So that's kind of in a nutshell. So if you can imagine taking, welcome dental assistant, here's your little guidebook with those items in it. It's really simple. They know what their job description is. They know what the protocol is of what their job actually entails. They have an accountability agreement. They have an end-of-day checklist, and they have the how to actually complete their protocol. So helping you guys really understand how to digest this whole manual. We're going to break it up into little pieces for you. And by doing so, you'll be kind of tucking it in underneath. We don't recommend printing the whole book in one giant book. Print it out for little individual things. Right now, what questions, Tiff, if you'll watch the chat for us, what questions do you have so far? Feel free to jump on the chat. I want to make sure you guys are crystal clear. Any questions? What questions do you have so far of what every position should have from an ops manual and how we recommend you do this? Tiff, we have any questions?
I think we're good right now.
Okay. All right. So just so you guys know, this is going to be, I mentioned it earlier, week 1 will be job description and job flow. So this week, we're going to work on this. We are going to then build in week 2, just so you guys know, it's not up here. Week 2 is going to be a 30, 60, 90-day scorecard for onboarding, because we figured you guys probably need help with that. Week 3 is going to be these how-tos. And then week 4, I took those out of order. Week 4 is going to be the vision and the mission and the core values. Okay. We purposely did it in this order. So let me bold these so you guys can see. There's no bold, just kidding. So week 1, that's this week. Week 2 will be 30, 60, 90. Week 3 will be the how-tos. And then week 4 will be vision, mission, core value. The reason we did that is because this week, you need to learn your job description, job protocol. If you don't have the whole flow for all those positions, how on earth do you even know what protocols are needed? We watch this with a lot of offices. They just say, we got to make the ops manual. So we're struggling with new patient phone calls. Let's make that protocol. That's a very haphazard way to do it. It's not actually flowing through very well. So that's why we're working with that today. Then we realized we're going to help you get an onboarding 30, 60, 90-day scorecard put together that will link to the job description and job flow. The reason we want to pair those together is so then you actually know what protocol, like the how-tos, the step-by-steps to build first. You're going to want to build the ones that will link to your 30 days. So that way you can actually onboard people more efficiently, you can hire more effectively, and it will give you time to actually have a structured plan. So that's what we're doing. Vision, mission, core values, those are super important. We figured if we did that at the very last loop, your whole team hopefully will be coming back together, and you can then talk to them about the vision, the mission, core values, get the whole team buy-in. Tiff, do we have questions? What questions do we have? I think you're muted.
Sorry, I was just answering, but this is perfect. So Alexandra asked, I have the office for 10 years or more. How do we handle this now? Do I, the owner dentist, make this for them, or do I go to each physician team member and fill this out with their feedback?
Awesome. Super good question. So what it is it's completely up to you. Right now, because we are in COVID and a lot of team members have been furloughed, a lot of doctors are making this right now, and then they'll get team buy-in when all the team comes back together. If you have team members hanging out at home, even if they can work up to 10 hours, this is when you'll want to utilize your entire team to help you build this. We are recording this. We're happy to send it back over with the step-by-steps. So you could then send it to your team, ask them to help you build this flow and protocol, and then send it back to you. So we're getting the homework assignments, if you will, completed. But absolutely, you can build it yourself. In an ideal situation, the whole team helping build this will create better buy-in, more accountability. Charlie, you asked an incredible question. The accountabilities and end of day, can they be included in the job flow? 100%. You actually will pull from the job flow to create the accountabilities and the end of day, which is why we start with the job flow first. Excellent question. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, guys, ready? Tiff, interrupt if we need to. Let's go to this screen share. So I want you all, we're going to be starting. I purposely am choosing dental assistant. We do not want to leave. That would be tragic. All right, so we're going to start with dental assistant. The reason I'm starting with dental assistant is because most doctors, you can build out a dental assistant flow, like the protocol for your dental assistant. You could also do it for hygiene. So I purposely wanted to start with dental assistant. Now, the difference between a job description versus the protocol, which all of you should have received the protocols when you signed up. So you can work on those. If you have the ops manual, you can work on it, or you can build your own. It's totally up to you. A job description is a quick little one-page, like think of it as the, like when you're getting ready to read a book. So for example, I've got Traction here. On the back, it's a little synopsis of what this book's about. That's pretty much what a job description is. So it's a quick one-page synopsis of what that job even entails. It doesn't get into the nitty-gritty. So that's a job description. We're not going to build that right now. You guys can build that afterwards. What I want to take you through is the part that I think is even harder to build. You guys can make a one-page, very easy to do. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just that quick little synopsis is a job description. Now, this protocol is where we're going to actually break it down and have you guys work on building this, which is why we're starting with dental assistant. Like I said, the goal is we're doing these for 1 hour, but at the end of this hour, I'm hopeful that you're going to be able to walk out of here with 3 of these protocols completed today. So I'm aiming for dental assistant, biller, and office manager. Office manager is a monster, so get ready. That one's got a lot. So what we're going to do is I want each of you to think, when we build these protocols, we're going to encompass them with 5 things. Those 5 things are, what do they do daily? What do they do weekly? What do they do monthly? What do they do quarterly? And what do they do yearly? So we break this down. So for example, we have the assistant protocol. What do they do on the daily? What's their morning arrival? How do we have them greet our patients? We scroll down. How do we have them dismiss our patient at the end of an appointment? What's their end of day right here? And then what do they do monthly? This one, we don't have anything. Your assistants might have something that they do weekly. They might not. They might have something they do monthly. They might not. They might have something they do quarterly and annually. You might not have all 5 of those buckets of the daily, the weekly, the monthly, quarterly, and annually for all of those positions we're going to work on. However, if you do, we're going to build that out. So Tiff, are there any questions so far that have come through to help clarify before we unleash you guys for the next, I'll give you a 10-minute chunk of time to actually build out these protocols or flows?
Yeah, Karen actually had a good question. She said, I have an older manual template. Is this one new and is it the same? She has probably our version 1.0. And she says it doesn't look like this. So everything, it should be updated in Digify. Every time that we make an update to it, it updates in Digify. But if you've gotten it and downloaded it onto your computer and you're working off of that within your own Adobe, it won't automatically update to what's in there. So it may look a little bit different. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think the only things that we've really changed within there is the actual visual layout. So you're still going to have a lot of the same information that's in there.
That is absolutely correct. So when it's downloaded into Adobe, it doesn't have the auto updates. Everything in Digify will auto update. And Tiff, really the only thing I think we've really changed is we've just added the Word documents for you guys and some 30, 60, 90s in there. So yes.
Hello, Dental Aid Team listeners. All right. One of my absolute favorite quotes is, you are always one decision away from a totally different life. So what life do you want to have? Do you want more accountability? Do you want a team that's trained? Do you want to have somebody who thinks outside the box and creates just for you? Do you want to have a coach? Do you want to have team training? Do you just need somebody to kick you in the rear and get you going? Okay, don't worry. I'm in every single one of those boxes. And that's why we created Dental Aid Team Silver, Gold, and Platinum. It's going to be customized team training for you on the terms you want. So silver is more for accountability. Gold includes all of our online training plus the accountability, and Platinum includes all of that and in office. You guys, I would strongly suggest you go join Dental Aid Team Gold today because you're always one decision away from a totally different life. So what are you waiting for? Hop on over to thedentaladteam.com today. You guys, we only have so many spaces, so get over there today and sign up for Dental Aid Team Silver, Gold, or Platinum.
So, and you guys, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Will we be able to watch these later if we miss one? So the key there is to make sure that you're registering for the webinars and you're trying your hardest to get here. So these are being recorded, and I verified with our admin team that they are diligently recording and then sending these out to you guys after you've been here. So as long as you're registered for this, you do your best to get here, you'll actually get an email with that recording attached to it.
Correct. Yes. I think you'll get more done when you're here because you can ask questions, and when you're building with the coaches here, you actually can do it. So I would like all of you, again, if you are in, thank you, Tiffany, for that. If you guys are, wow, you're about to see my inbox. If you guys want, you guys can also go, if you don't have Adobe, remember, if you're in Digify, you can come down here to the Word documents. They're the exact same operations manual Word documents. They're all here. You guys can download these, open them in Word. So, and they're all in here. So you guys can just click on these. You can open up, and right now we're working on the one is the dental assistant. So we're working on dental assistants right here. You guys can click there, download it. I'll work on the Adobe. I think it's cleaner and easier for you guys to see. So I want all of you guys right now, we're going to have you work on dental assistant. We're not building the job description unless you already have the protocol flow. But right now I would like you guys to please, we're going to take 10 minutes. Actually, I'll give you 7 minutes. So we end at 12:30. So you guys, all of you, I want you to build out for the dental assistant. What do they do on the daily? Write down, think through, walk through the whole process. What do they do when they first show up in the morning? What do they do when we see patients? And I only want you to focus on the daily right now. If you get done before I call time, I want you to move to weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually. But right now, let's just think through the dental assistant. What does the dental assistant do when they show up in the morning? What do they do when we see patients throughout their day? What do they do at the end of the day? Walk through every single step. Be pretty detailed in this. Imagine I am blindfolded. I've never been a dental assistant. I'm walking into your practice. You hand me this flow. I should be able to say okay, I arrived. I come here 30 minutes before the first patient. I set up 3 rooms according to a standardized protocol. All the trays are set up for the remainder of the day. Whatever it is, walk through step by step of a dental assistant's day. Tiff, do we have questions before we let you guys go for the next 6? We'll give you 10 minutes.
I think this is a good one for us to answer out loud. Angela asked, we have this one, but we have it on the work computer. So they've modified it at work, but they don't have access to it right now. So what should the team do about that?
Great question. I would say if we've got multiple team members on there, pick your position. You guys can look at this. You can have access to it. Also, we emailed when you registered for the webinar, all of these in a downloadable form. Or if you want, I can scroll casually and you guys can write off of there. That's what I would do right now. Because if it's sitting at work, that is a bummer. I would just start writing what you have now. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can compare it to the work computer. Excellent question.
And then I wanted to point out, we had Jenny asked if they purchase now, if they'll get it right away so they can work off of it. And I did, Kaylee also confirmed that yes, if you go, I put the link and the discount code in the chat there, so you can just copy and paste those. If you go purchase that right now, Kaylee's actually, and Jen and Rachel are actually working behind the scenes to get those to you as quickly as possible so you can work with this.
Awesome. Thank you for that tip. All right, you guys, I wish I could cue some awesome music for you right now. Maybe if I play it on my side, it'll play it for you. I'll try it. They'll tell me if it's working or not. But we'll cue the music. I want you guys to work on dental assistant protocol if you have questions. And what we mean by the protocol is the flow, having them flow through their day, working on the daily. So what does the dental assistant do? Let's all get the dental assistant done today. What do they do on the daily? How does that work out? Tiff, more questions we need to answer? Nope, solid. All right, all you guys, we're going to let you go. 10 minutes, work on this. If you need to share screen, ask questions, we'll cue the music. Jonathan B., we got it. You're Sarah. We got you. And if you guys have questions, if you want specific questions or need help, feel free. You can unmute. You've got all the coaches here. We can happily answer. Tiff's watching that chat. So you guys, please ask your questions. We want you to get this done. The goal is to have you walking out of here, at least with this one protocol solidified, dialed in. So what do they do when they show up in the morning? Think through your patient arrival. Doctors, walk this through. This could be a really good exercise for you to be thinking, how do you want your team to address your patients? How do you want them to seat them in the operatory? What do? Do we take the blood pressure? Is that something you're doing? Are you having them ask 3 non-dental related questions? Where are they writing this? Are they putting it into the notes immediately? Think through all those little specifics. I love that Tiffany talked about Amelia Bedelia last time. And every single little detail in very, very literal form. I mean, we have on here, don the patient bib. I've never once said the word don the patient bib. Maybe that's how you speak. Maybe it's not. That was Mark Costas's little flair into this. What does it do? How do we begin the chart note? Do you want them to place topical? What do they do? Do you want them to brief you in the hallway? Do you want them to brief you in front of the patient? Walk through all those specifics, because these specifics, the more you can get for going through this flow, it's going to help you build that 30, 60, 90. Also going to help you with the how-tos eventually as well.
Kiera, can I add something?
Yes, please do.
This is a good, this can be really powerful in a collaboration as well. So the doctors that are on here, you might see it from one perspective, and then the dental assistants might even be more detailed since it is their job, and you could go to your lead assistant or even ask your office manager. So if you have, and if you can give them just the guideposts of what's your daily, your weekly, your, monthly, quarterly, annually, I'll have them thinking along those lines, but they can collaborate with you and help you be more detailed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Charlie, because you're exactly right. Let me add another text box over here for you guys. We want the flow for each position for what they do daily. And you can think of AM, midday, PM. We want their weekly, we want their monthly, quarterly, and we want their annually. Charlie, great point. You guys are building this out right now. We want the details in there. And we're really looking for what are they doing daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. Okay, so I will change that to red so you guys can see what the flow is for each position. Daily, weekly, monthly, and have it very detailed. Like Charlie said, you might build this today and then send it to your lead assistant and say, what did we miss? Fill in the gaps of where we're lacking. We really want to have this so clear. So I will also, since this is a smaller board, we can pop this over. I'll try and shrink the screen a little bit so you guys can see. This is a sample plus what to work on. Pull it out a little bit. Tiff, thanks for watching that chat.
Okay, I'm going to pop in real quick and answer this out loud. Jenny asked, how is the purchase of the manual different from downloads sent in the email? Currently, downloads are not working. Also, as DSN, do I still use DAT helps code? So yes, DSN code is the same. The DAT helps. DSN is different than the DSI doctors that are messaging in there. And it's different because it has everything. So the downloads that you got, which I apologize that they're not downloading for you, but they are on an Adobe version online in Digify, and it's literally 650 pages. So what you got today is just like a small snippet of what we have in there so that you can start working at home on a smaller level than what the full operations manual is. And Jenny, if that didn't answer it clearly for you, message again. Or unmute yourself, and I'd be happy to talk there too.
All right. So let's have you guys, let's have you pause on this. Well, first of all, are you guys needing more time? I'm not sure. We don't have a poll, so let me quickly pull a grid of you guys. How many of you give us a thumbs up if you are done with your dental assistant? We're going to quickly scan through, so give us a thumbs up. Chat in there. Give it thumbs up. Are you good? Or thumbs down? I saw a thumbs down.
A couple need more time.
A little more time. All right. We'll give you about 5 more minutes. If you are finished and you're ready to move on, I would suggest that you move on to the next position, or making sure you've got your daily, your weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual. So if you finish with dental assistant, I'm going to suggest you move on to the treatment coordinator. That's the position I want you to start working on next if you're done with dental assistant. Don't move on. Make sure it's really, really specific all the way through, okay? So that's what we're going to have you guys work on. If you're done, move on to treatment coordinator and do the exact same thing. Docs, that might be trickier for you. You might not know what a treatment coordinator does. Fantastic. This is a great time for you to figure it out and to learn exactly what a treatment coordinator does. I will pull up a treatment coordinator one for you on the screen so you guys can see a treatment coordinator if you want, because you guys should know more of a dental assistant. So I'll pull the treatment coordinator one up for you if you want to move on to the next position. Tiff, how are we doing over there? I did just call Kate. Go ahead.
It's like going crazy. Good. Thumbs ups. But I did have a really great question. This is like a full-time job right here.
Tiff, you're doing amazing.
When do the dental assistants reference this, or how do these turn into checklists? So dental assistants are going to reference it as they need it. It's definitely fantastic for training, especially in dental assistant world. We suggest taking pictures of all of your setups. What do you want your filling to look like? Where are your instruments? Like, what do you have on your side that you don't need them to hand? What instruments are they passing off to you? And what they do then is you print out their section and you put it in a notebook they can get to. I usually suggest just leaving it in sterilization area, like tucked away where it's sterile, right? But just leaving it in there, they can grab it, they can flip it open, and then they can look at that picture and the checklist that you've created for what you want for a filling and completely set up a room. The idea is that the assistants never have to leave the room to get you something that they forgot. So yes, you turn them into checklists. And then there was another one.
Also, Tiff, I wanted to say on that this is also really good when you hire a new assistant, that they can literally see exactly what is expected. So what does my morning look like? I know as an assistant, I worked in many different practices. Some would have me show up 30 minutes before. Some would have me show up 15 minutes before. Some I was supposed to set up the room the night before. Some I was supposed to set it up the morning of. So this literally is a nice overview as you hire new positions of exactly what their overall protocol is for your practice specifically, which is why we call this a protocol. And then the step-by-steps of how to accomplish it is the how-to. So that's how these work. And this is really just when they show up day one, it's a great intro to your practice, and it will become checklists for you in the future. Great question.
Yep. And then I lost it. What about tasks like housekeeping that is done by both front and the dental assistant? That would go in both, because you're specifically going to take this protocol, this job description, the how-tos, all of these things per position and give it to that person. So if you've got housekeeping duties that both of them do, but you only have them like in a weird section or like a dual purpose section, it's not actually going to them with their job description. So you want it to be in both places every time there's an overlap like that.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks for watching that. Tiff, that is a full-time job. And just so you guys know, those downloads that didn't work, we did mute myself and call Kaylee and Rachel. They are about to put the downloads in the chat for you. So you'll be able to download those as well So in case it didn't work for you on the download, I know some had some issues, some were fine. They're about to send those to you. So if you need it. So awesome questions, guys. So really in like a big picture, this protocol is the skeleton to building the rest of your operations manual. This protocol is going to tell you what each position does on the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual. This way it's so clear. These are setting clear expectations from day one of exactly what that protocol does for your practice. And then after you build the scaffolding, we are then going to build off and actually map out how do we do this. When I built this with Tiffany, it took us about 6 months, in all sincerity, of having a designer help us with this, of us figuring out how to do it. And it was hard because I started with protocols and then I'd go to job description with Tiff, and we just kept going back and forth. And once we realized if we could get these protocols for every position dialed in, that was the scaffolding that built everything else out for the practice. So that's why we're having you guys start with this protocol, because for every single position, what do they do in the morning, middle of the day? So I'll scroll down if you guys are wanting help with this one. Look at what a treatment coordinator's daily duties are. This is what they're doing. They're the backup phone answer. They collect balances and copays. Write down all these specifics. Tiff, how's our chat? We doing good? More questions over there? Thumbs up. All right. Good. Thank you. Thanks, Ash. I saw Ash, you're chiming in on that as well. Thank you all coaches for answering that chat. You guys really do have a full-time job. All right. All of you should be rounding the bend on at least the dental assistant the protocol. We're not going to how-tos. And this is where it gets real funky. There's a lot of words that are synonymous. So protocol, how-to, job description, job flow. So we say a job description is like the back cover, the quick synopsis of what the book is. Okay, so what their job is. It's a quick synopsis. Then the protocol is the protocol for your practice. So for hygiene, when we build a hygiene one, we actually do a perio protocol through hygiene. So they actually know what your perio protocol is. So that's why we call these our protocols. What is the protocol for a dental assistant in our practice? What is the protocol for our treatment coordinator? What is the protocol for a scheduler on the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annually? Once we get that all dialed in, then we're going to build out how do we actually accomplish these protocols? How do we actually do what you're asking us to do and telling us is our job? So what questions do we currently have? Tiff or Ash, are there any others that you guys want to chime in on right now? Any that need to be voiced out loud?
No, we're all good over here.
Okay, fantastic. So thumbs up. Are we done with dental assistants across the board? Get ready, guys. The chat's going to go wild on you. Are we thumbs up on dental assistant? Has everybody gone through and written a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual for dental assistants? Does everybody have that mapped out? The goal is for everybody to at least have that right now. Thumbs up. I love you guys. I secretly love watching this when you guys show up and I get all the thumbs up. It's like one of the most entertaining things to watch you. I don't know who this guy is. There's one guy on here. I'm not sure your name, but I am loving your you give me the thumbs up, the thumbs down. So keep it up, guys. We're watching. Does everybody have dental assistant done? Tiff, how's it coming through? We seen it. I'm giving a thumbs up on your screens. Good, good. Okay. So the next one that we are going to do is the treatment coordinator. So if you have not finished treatment coordinator, I'd like you to move on to treatment coordinator. So what does a treatment coordinator do? Now, if you were in the skip ahead group and you finished treatment coordinator, go on to the monster office manager. I will pull that up in a minute. For those of you getting to treatment coordinator, let's look through this. What is their morning? What does it look like when your treatment coordinator shows up at the office? 30 minutes. A lot of this you guys can cut and paste from dental assistant. Some of those things might look the same. I'm purposely having you guys go from back office to front office because we want to be here to answer questions for the front office team and the back office team because they do run a little bit differently. Hygiene and dental assistants tend to run similarly. Scheduler, biller, treatment coordinator, office manager, they tend to run similarly. So giving you a sample in both of these. So start building, guys. Cue the music, cue your instrumental or your heavy metal or whatever you want music and build out the treatment coordinator. What do they do morning? I will scroll down because their daily duties are a little bit different. Here's an end of day. End of day, I'll hold that up there for you. And then I will scroll in a minute to show you some of the weekly and the quarterly for a treatment coordinator. Tiff, Ashley, or Charlie, while they're working on these, any thoughts that you guys want to add, or Claire or Laramie, any thoughts you ladies want to add of things you've seen for building this protocol out Anything that you guys want to add in from your angles as they build this treatment coordinator protocol?
I'll share something just to add to what you've been saying, Kiera, is the protocol is, it's almost like the meat of it, because this protocol you can actually use for your onboarding, your 30, 60, 90 as well, because then it's going to let you know what you need to train everybody on. So taking time to be really thorough about your protocol and running it through your perspective, running it through your office manager perspective, running it through the treatment coordinator perspective, I think is really beneficial. And then you're going to use that almost to build everything else. It's going to give you you're going to know what to do the how-tos from. You're going to know how to train people and all the things you need to train them on. So it's very valuable to do this very thoroughly and take your time and even revisit it, because you'll have different ideas that come through.
Absolutely. Great point to that, Charlie. And I love that you said it is literally the meat, you guys. This is stuff we don't share. We are only sharing it with our webinar people, because this literally took me and Tiffany months of brain power to come up with and to figure out. And then Ashley and Charlie, their input to change it and to revamp it. So yes, Charlie, you're exactly right. This is that meat scaffolding that you will build every other piece off of. So to be so thorough, I mean, you guys look at this. This thing is what? Like 1, 2, 3 pages of details, which honestly, we could have probably gone more in depth. Honestly, if Ashley was writing this, she probably would have done 6 pages, and she would have thought through everything that Tiff and I didn't think of. Tiff and I tend to be a little more gloss. Ashley tends to be a little more detail. So, and Charlie too. So yes, to Charlie's point, absolutely make these very, very thorough. Ashley, Laramie, Tiff, Claire, any other thoughts you guys want to add in? Thank you, Charlie.
I think one thing I stress to my students when we're building these together is to make sure that we think of all of the small items and wrap your expectations into this. Like, what is it that you expect your practice to look like? So if you expect your schedule to be full, right? What does that mean? What is a full schedule to you? So like, I expect my schedule, doctor's side schedule, to be scheduled to $5,800 per day. Right, so then now we can think about, what does the treatment coordinator have to do within her position to ensure that you're scheduled to $5,800 per day? Well, she's got to make 30 unscheduled calls per week. She's got to, pull unscheduled treatment every day. So then it kind of helps you, if you know what you expect it to look like, what you expect someone to accomplish, then you can work backwards and say, okay, well, what does this person have to do to get to that point?
I love that, Tiff, because if we don't have those clear, you don't think through what does a full schedule look like. I mean, I remember we had a joke in my first dental office that I worked in, and it was that everything was ideal. The doctor would say like, this ideal filling, this ideal room setup, this ideal. And I was like, what is ideal? And so I actually made t-shirts before I left that office saying that it was ideal dental assistant, ideal office manager. And it was a joke to this doctor because none of us knew what ideal was. And we'd always say, like, what is ideal? So really specifying, what does a full schedule look like? What does, that's why we said arrive 30 minutes prior to first patient. It's not 30 minutes, like 7:30. Your first patient might not be until 9. So if you say 7:30, they're going to show up at 7:30 because that's what you said. And so when we built this, I think, Tiffany, we probably had 6 or 7 different people from different backgrounds look through this to see what we missed, what didn't make sense. Because to me, saying ideal made sense, but to other people, it was, well, what is ideal? So to Charlie's point, to Tiff's point, really getting your whole team or different perspectives to help you out will make this actually deliver what you're looking for. Good point. Ash, were you going to say something?
Just that kind of going off of what you just said. So thank you for sharing that. But if your overall goal is to get that buy-in from your team, making sure that they have some input on this is crucial. So keep in mind as you're building this, that ultimately, you probably want to organize it on a Google Drive or an area that's going to be accessible to the rest of your team while they're working from home. You can share Google Drives with them as we've shared our free resources with you guys. So similar kind of flow with that, making sure your team has access to go in and make these edits or changes, adding in those finer details and getting that buy-in from the rest of them.
Brilliant point, Ashley. A lot of people ask how to do this. Google Drive. You guys, the Dental A team is run off of Google Drive. We live in Google Drive. We are a virtual company. So if you want help on knowing how to be virtual, we are happy to share what we do. Google Drive is our lifesaver. We literally live off of Google Drive. So brilliant point on that, Ash. And also I've heard from a ton of offices, like a lot of them are furloughed. but they can work up to 10 hours and still claim their unemployment. Also, I know the PPP has been in effect with a lot of offices. So they're trying to think, what can we do to keep our team members working since we're needing to use that PPP loan and we're not back in practice? These are great uses of their time. You can set how much of this you want done, give deadlines of when you get this back. So excellent. All right. So I promise you guys, I'll scroll down. Here is a weekly and a monthly for the unscheduled for your treatment coordinator. So you guys can see a weekly and a monthly, making sure like on the weekly that they're unscheduled treatment calls, that they are calling them 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. Then a letter is, and they're using their treatment tracker. Tiff and Charlie and Ashley, can't tell you how many offices don't do this and they know they should. They don't use a treatment tracker. They don't follow up with unscheduled treatment plans. It's a very simple thing that if we just had that in our protocol and we could refer back to this in our monthly check-ins, we went back to this when we were training people, this would solve and you would actually fill your schedules better because you're proactive in how we actually train our whole team. A lot of offices out there, you might already have your ops manual done. Fantastic, high five. Review this. Does this make sense? And does your whole team? It's a good calibration to remind us, what is my job in full detail? What am I responsible for? What areas am I forgetting? This might be a great quarterly thing for every team member to review. Do they do that? What areas are they falling short in? And then we could set goals or progress check-ins to determine, are we fixing these areas to make sure every one of these pieces is being done? Are some of these things no longer relevant? I can't tell you how many offices have done the ops manual and now it's no longer relevant. There's things in there from 2 years ago when we built this that no longer apply. So if you already have a manual done, go back and make sure everything's still relevant. We're not missing things so your team really can have true transparency on this. Good. Okay. Yes.
Microsoft Word, not compatible for editing with a Mac computer. Kiera and Kaylee both have Macs, so how do you get around that?
Yeah. So on a Mac, you might have to buy the Microsoft Office Word. So you can't open it in Google Docs. So I have Word on my Mac. Kaylee has Word. You can buy it. It's not very expensive. So that is something, and it will allow you just enter that password integrity on it. So that's how we all edit on our Macs. So that's how you can do that. It's dumb. Freaking Apple. Like, we love and hate them. Like, oh, hey, cool. My charger no longer fits into all the Apple products and I got to buy 3 different things. So Macs are beautiful and a little annoying when it comes to Word. But yeah, or have your office snag it. Kaylee just got a free Microsoft Office put on her personal computer to help edit these. Compliments of Dental A-Team because we needed it. So that's how we did it. Good question. All right. So Tiff, let's see. Get ready for the chat. You just had a moment to yourself. Guys, how many of you have now a dental assistant protocol completely mapped out, your first layer of it, and a treatment coordinator? Those are the 2 main things. Thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up. Go in the chat. Are you done? Got some thumbs up? Thumbs up. Thumbs up. How are they looking, Tiff, on your side?
Yeah, we're good. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Awesome. I love seeing that chat bar go up and I love watching. Okay. So now we've gone through 2 of these protocols. I'm going to stop the share and we're going to come back on to a bigger screen. So now that we purposely had you guys join this meeting with your beautiful faces, I want to open it up and ask the question of who needs help? Like, who wants to show us their screen or who has specific questions, maybe not relying on or relevant to the protocol scaffolding that we just built? What questions do you have? What things specific to your manual? I want to give you some time before we wrap up with giving you your homework assignment for this week. Don't worry, guys, we're in school. Your kids are in school. You guys can be in Dental A-Team free workshop Wednesday school. We'll give you an assignment to finish to come prepared for next week so you guys are ready to go. What questions do you have specifically? Yes, I see a hand raised down at the bottom. Go ahead.
So I'm working on the front office portion, and the way that I started the table of contents was kind of like doing what I do from start, like opening the office all the way to like finishing and printing off end of day. Mm-hmm. So I started the table of contents with that and doing like how to open the office, how to clock in, stuff like that. But as I'm going through the pre-made templates, I'm trying to figure out how do I organize that, because some of those don't actually apply to me or the other girls that are here up front. They kind of apply more to the financial coordinator. So how would I organize that so it kind of flows nicer? And then if someone needs to do something more on the other side of those extra, how do I put them so then they can just look at that area?
Awesome question. So we recommend you build your table of contents. So we have you build this whole protocol flow that we just showed you on purpose, because then what you do is you go extract what actually needs to happen and you put that into a list. Then you organize that into alphabetical order for your table of contents. So because table of contents for you of what you do beginning of the day to end of the day makes sense to you, but maybe to Tiffany or myself, I don't do that in the morning. I do that at the end of my day. So that's something you guys is a huge tip. Make your table of contents in alphabetical order. Then you build it for front office and one for back office. So they'll kind of be separated. That way it's much cleaner of who does what. So you basically have built out this whole flow that we talked about. High five. Amazing. Then you'll actually build your table of contents and we'll go into that. I would do it in alphabetical order.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Awesome question. What other questions do you guys have? And like Charlie always says, don't be afraid to ask the question, because the question you have is probably the same question that 50 other people on this call have. We have 100 people on here. High five to you guys for all being here. What questions do you have? Let's make sure you get your questions answered.
I want to point out that we are here for you. This is for you. Get out of it what you can. You have like 5.5 minutes left. So ask the questions.
This is efficiency tip. Don't wait. If you guys don't want to ask, you can pop it in the chat. We can say the question for you as well. And don't be shy. I won't see it. Just unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay.
Or
Speak now.
Kiera's beautiful face.
Yeah, well, thank you. I have to get all my videos done before I lose my eyelashes, guys. Like, this is a big deal. I was like, we got to hurry up. Kaylee's like, don't worry. I'll show you on Amazon how you do this if you can't get to the eyelash place. It's ridiculous. So, okay. So here we go. You guys ready for your homework? Tiff, if you will be so kind to put this in the chat so you guys will all see. So homework for this week before you come back next week to Workshop Wednesday, which is why we're doing this every single Wednesday, is so you guys learn how to do it. Then you go work on your own and come back. We are going to have a check-in. We want you to actually show us the work you've completed. So what we're going to do is we are going to ask you to finish up protocols, this scaffolding fold for all the positions: office manager, biller, scheduler, treatment coordinator, dental assistant, hygienist. 6 positions. We want this whole flow built out. Get the details, like Charlie, Ashley, Tiff said. Ask other people in your office. Make sure we didn't miss anything. I promise you, if you take time right now to get this dialed in, the rest of your life will be much easier. So don't skip ahead. Don't gloss over this. Get other people's opinions for you. Once you get that done, come back. If you already have that done and you want to skip ahead a little bit, then I want you to do what the lady asked the question. I want you to actually go through, once you get all these protocols, don't build it yet. Just write the table of contents. So for example, let me show you guys. We'll go back to the screen share. So if we go back to this, for example, what I mean by the table of contents, you would look at this and say, okay, for the treatment coordinator, arrive 30 minutes prior to the first patient. They're going to need to know how to clock in. So I need to build a protocol for clocking in. That's how they'll accomplish this task. Ensure that insurance breakdowns are present for all hygiene and new patients. Fantastic. I would write insurance breakdowns. That's going to be something I need to figure out. Review all account balances. Beautiful. Account balances. Collecting account balances. Morning huddle. That's my next one. You're literally just going through every single step and building a table of contents of what needs to be done. Don't start building the protocols yet. Be super thorough on this. It's going to save you a ton of time. So that's what we want you to do. Homework assignment is build the protocol, this whole daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually for every single position. Assistant, hygienist, biller, treatment coordinator, scheduler, office manager. Build that out. If you're like a superstar, move ahead and start building what your table of contents would look like. That's where we want you to get by next week for every position. Circle it around, spin it around, get that information down there. Ashley is going to be building off of that next week for 30, 60, 90. So that's going to be your onboarding. We're purposely doing it in this order. If you're the Rockstar office that already has your ops manual done, high five. I want you to go back through this whole flow and make sure we're not missing anything. It's not redundant. We've simplified it. You're going to cut and clean up all these protocol flows of every position before next week. All right, Tiff, any questions that they have?
Kristen just asked if we have lead RDA and other DAs, should we have a separate protocol or one combined? I would personally do a separate one for the RDA because she's going to have different things that you're expecting from her. And then on the homework note, I would challenge you guys to do I'm going to put it in the chat as well, but do all the things that she just told you to. And then when you do, I challenge you to take a really fun or funny or however you want to do it photo and post it on Instagram and tag the dental A team. That's your check-in with us so that we know you're working behind the scenes. We're delivering content that you like, and we'll keep doing it. When we see you guys doing that kind of stuff, that's what promotes us to keep doing these types of webinars. So tag us on Instagram, or Facebook is fine too. I think most people these days are Instagram users, and I think it's at the dental A team, right?
At the dental A team. Yes, and I'm going to sweeten that deal a little bit because we really want you to do this. People have asked us for our amazing dental A team t-shirts, including Tarly and Claire, because they don't even have one yet. So we will sweeten the deal that we will actually, whomever tags us, we'll actually have it and we'll announce a winner. Don't let me forget. We'll announce a winner next week and we'll actually send you a dental A team t-shirt. So please, please, please make sure you guys do this, tag us. Great question, Ashley, down at the bottom in the chat says, what if we don't have all six positions? Or if one position does the front desk plus treatment coordinator? Excellent question. Combine those together and be super detailed of what it was and build it to where you can pull them apart in the future because you will want to pull them apart. So I'd kind of break it down into chunks for that one person so you could eventually just pull it apart. Excellent question. Any last questions, Tiff, before we wrap this up that they commented on?
Yep, so I'm just going to highlight, Amy asked how we get a copy. I'm just going to highlight again that if you're a registered attendee of this meeting, you'll actually get an email afterwards when this recording has populated, so it might be a little bit. I know Zoom was behind a couple days ago, but once it's ready, our admin team actually sends this recording out to all of our registered participants. And then, James, I'm a new grad looking to buy a practice. Do you think this is a little premature? Absolutely not. I think start thinking about what you want your practice to look like, what your goals and your intentions are for your practice. Overall, like what is it that you're looking to do in the world? Why are you buying this practice? And then build backwards from there on what those individual positions will look like. You may end up hiring like one person to do 6 jobs up front in the beginning. If you're smaller, that's totally fine. But having something like this in the background is going to help you actually hire and know what it is that you need to hire for.
Correct. And to that point, Tiff, I just had a doctor who did a startup. He was 7 days in before COVID hit, and he's now working on the ops manual. And he told me, he said, Kiera, I wish I would have done this before I opened my practice because we were in mayhem. He said, your manual just made it so clear. And also in there, James, you're able to figure out exactly what the position is. Yes, the password for these, we saw that question come in. The password is in Digify. It has a disclaimer in there, and the password is integrity with all caps. You guys keep these manuals for yourselves. It's integrity. This is for you guys. So share with your friends. Our links are things like that. So that's why they're all password protected for you. But yes, the password is integrity, all caps. That way you guys can unlock all the Word docs and share them with each other. Last, you guys, so get your homework done. We'll send a recap with your homework assignment. Join us next week, Workshop Wednesday. We'll be here at 12 o'clock. We're going to be diving into onboarding, building out your 30, 60, 90, but you've got to have this homework done. Otherwise, you're going to be, like Tiff said, in the book club, but you didn't even read the book. It's not going to pertain to you as much. Even if you just get one protocol completely done, you can then build that 30, 60, 90 out. So like Tiffany said, tag us on Instagram, tag us on Facebook. We will be sending you guys that. Rachel, do you want to send the link, please, for our survey? You guys, we're going to send a link in our chat. We are going to send a survey every single time. Thank you, Ashley. Rachel, please click on that. It's a Survey Monkey. It's anonymous. We care about your feedback. We want to make sure that this hour you spent with us was super valuable and how we can make it better for you, how next week we can improve it, and share with your friends. If you have a friend or a doctor or an office or a team member We heard that maybe we maxed out on our numbers. So high five to you guys. We'll make it to where we can get more people in next time as well. Share with your friends. We're going to run these for the next 4 weeks. And then also, don't forget to join us. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing Expert Thursday. So Thursdays at 12 o'clock, we're going to have an expert. So tomorrow will be teledentistry. So if you're interested, Rachel, will you please also send the link for registering for tomorrow if they want to? Tomorrow will be teledentistry. Then we're going to do hygiene. We'll do leadership. We'll do billing. So we're going to have expert webinars on Thursdays at 12 o'clock. So workshop Wednesdays, expert on Thursday. Rachel will send you guys the link for how to register with that. Okay, you guys, that was a wrap. Thank you. We will thank you guys for asking your questions. Oh, Kaylee said the link to register for tomorrow's webinar is in the survey link above. So click on that survey. Give us the feedback. You guys, we literally read this. We have no clue who says what. So please give us honest feedback. It really means the world to us. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, coaches. It makes my heart so happy to have the coaches, all of us together. If you can't tell, the Dental A team is so full of love. I love these ladies. I love our team. I love all of you for being a part of our Dental A team family. So get to work, get these protocols done. We're going to see you guys next week. We're going to bust out the 30, 60, 90 with Ash. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.
And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.